Hello there. So this is Karan Kumar Pradhan and welcome you all to the TCube GATE classes, which is an initiative by TCube faculties. And I had my PhD from NIT Rourkela in 2016, and right now I am serving as an assistant professor on contract at Parala Maharaj Engineering College, Berhampur, which is located in Odisha. And I have a teaching experience of more than 3 years, as I have joined here in January 2018. So this is my contribution in the GATE classes or engineering mathematics is the probability and statistics. So today I am going to start with your probability or the introduction to probability, and this is the very first lecture we have. Okay, so let's get started with the probability. Okay. So what do you mean by probability? And this is generally refer to a random experiment always. Okay, and what is the theoretical description of this probability is it is the quantitative measure of uncertainty of an event. Okay, and this event is always related to a random experiment. Right? Now you must be wondering what is a random experiment. I'll give you the an informal definition of random experiment, but before proceeding to this, let us go for a few examples. Like, let us say you toss a fair coin twice. Okay, so we know that it has a certain set of outcomes we have. Okay, and the collection of outcomes is called the sample space, and is generally represented with a capital S. Okay, and the outcomes will be your double heads, because a coin has your heads and tails as the possible outcomes. Okay, heads, tails, heads, and double tails. Right? So similarly, if I'll go for the second experiment, which is your roll a fair die once. Okay, so here the sample space will be containing your 6 outcomes, which are your 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Right? So now let us go for another one, that means a deck of cards. So deck of 52 well shuffled cards we have. So here in the third experiment we have definitely 52 cards, which is your 13 of each suit. That means your hearts, diamonds, spade, and glove. Right? So now what do you mean by the random experiment? So an experiment is referred as random. Okay, referred as random if what its outcome is random in each trial. Okay, now what is trial? Trial is the number of times you are performing the event. Okay, that means the occurrence of an the number of times you are performing an experiment. Right? So now we'll briefly define a few events related to each of the examples we have taken. Okay, so let's get started with the events here. So events, what will do, an event will specify a certain condition, for a random experiment. Right? So for the first, let us say what is the probability of getting two heads. Okay, so this is referred to definitely the only outcome we have is your double heads is this, and the solution will be 1 out of 4. Okay, that means the number of favorable case is only double heads is your 1 out of 4, or I'll say your 0.25. Right? So similarly, if I'll assign another one. Let us say your probability of getting at least one head. Okay, so this will be what? This will be corresponding to three specific outcomes, which is your 1, 2 and 3, which is your 3 out of 4. At least one head is specified. Okay, so this is your 0.75, right? Similarly, let's go for the second example. So here in this random experiment, let us say your probability of getting an even outcome. So what is this? This is your corresponding to your 2, 4 and 6. That means your 3 out of 6 or 1 by 2, I will say. Okay, so now I will intentionally provide another one, which is your getting an odd outcome. So probability of getting an odd outcome is again 3 by 6, because these are corresponding to your 1, 3 and 5. But as this is the previous one is the complementary event of this one, so I will try it here as 1 minus 1 by 2, which is your 1 by 2, right? So let me write here. So this is your complementary event. So both are complement to each other, right? This is the complementary event, or both are complement to each other. So if I'll go for the third one, so let us say probability of getting a card of any suit, I will say of any suit, is your 1 out of 52. Okay, but if I'll say here probability of getting a king will be, because a deck of cards has 4 specific kings, so that's why I will take 4 out of 52. Okay, the possibility is 1 out of 4 is your is the favorable case, and your 1 out of 52 is your total number of exhaustive cases. That means what I am trying to say here, 4C1 divided by 52C1 in terms of your combination, if I assume. Okay, so now let's go for the precise definition of the probability of an event. Okay, so probability of an event is of an event, let us say your capital E, I am assuming for a random experiment, definitely for a random experiment, is defined as what? In short I can write it as probability of the event E is what? The number of cases which are in favor of E. Okay, in favor of E, the event E, divided by the total number of exhaustive cases. Okay, so this is generally referred as, or in short, the number of outcomes in favor of E divided by the total number of exhaustive cases, or the total possible outcomes for the sample space. Okay, and is referred as or denoted as small p, right? So now we'll go for a few properties of this probability of an event. Okay, the very first property says that the probability of an event will always lie between 0 to 1. Okay, so 0 means, from this one I can conclude two different conclusions. One is that p equals to 0, then if your p equals to 0, I will say, then the event is impossible. Okay, and the second conclusion is that if p equals to 1, then I will say that the event is certain. Okay, right? So p equals to 1 means the number of cases, the total number of cases is same as the total number of outcomes which are in favor of the given event. Okay, so impossible event means what? So for this one I will tell you. See, if I'll see for the second experiment, for the second random experiment, let us say the probability of getting 7 as an outcome. Okay, so it is impossible. So you will say that probability of getting 7 while rolling a fair die once is your 0. Okay, similarly, if I'll say the certain is that what is the probability of getting the outcomes from 1 to 6 inclusive of 1 and 6, okay, while rolling a die once, so that will be 1. Okay, so now the next part is your complementary. Okay, so E this, okay, E bar, or I'll say your E complement. Okay, so this is referred as the complementary event of E. Okay, event of E, and its probability of E complement is 1 minus probability of E. Okay, that means your 1 minus P, or this is generally denoted with your small q. Okay, so this will be used in the while discussing the random variable. I'll tell you the description about P and Q, but this is not so hard. Okay, so this is called your probability of failure, whereas this is referred as your probability of success. Okay, right? So let us go for a few examples on this probability. Okay, we'll make use of a few facts. So this is the very first example we are assuming. Okay, a bag contains 6 white, 4 red and 7 black balls. If 3 balls are drawn at random, so this is the random experiment we have. At random, find the probability that you have 4 set of events. Okay, so first of all we'll go for the number of exhaustive cases. Okay, which is your what is the sample space is containing. Okay, so 3 balls are drawn at random from 10 plus 7 is your 17 balls. That's why this is your 17C3. Okay, you are drawing simultaneously. Okay, not one by one. One by one will refer to the conditional probability, but here you are drawing simultaneously at random. Okay, so let us assign the 4 events as E1, E2, E3 and E4. Okay, so these are the 4 events we have. One by one we will solve. Okay, so the very first one is the 2 of the balls are white. Okay, so if I'll say the probability of E1 is what? So 2 balls should be taken out of your 6 white balls. Okay, so that means here the favorable case here 6 C2 and 1 out of the remaining balls we have. That means here from your 11, 1 out of 11. Okay, divided by 17C3. So this is the probability of the first event. Okay, so if I'll go for second one, 1 is of each color. Okay, that means here 1 is of white. Oh sorry, this is the second event, right? So 6C1, then your 4C1 and your 1 black. Okay, divided by your 17C3, right? So now we'll go for the third event, the probability that E non is red. Okay, if non is red, it can also be taken as your we can directly say that. So non is red, that means we have 6 plus 7, that means 6 white and 7 black balls, that means 13C3 divided by your 17C3, right? And if I'll go for the last one, that means your probability of 4, at least 1 is white, but I'll say that I can also refer to the complementary event of this one as 1 minus probability of getting at least 1 white. Non is white. Okay, right? So this can also be written as your 1 minus non is white, that means your 11C3 divided by your 17C3. You just calculate it in calculator, you will get the solution 17C3, 11C3 divided by 17C3, right? So this is what E4, I'll just write here that E4, this one, that means your at least 1 is white, at least 1 white is the complementary event of non is white. So both are complement to each other, right? So now we'll go for the second example. We have So for the second example, we have 4 cards are drawn, okay, at random. 4 cards are drawn at random from a pack of 52 cards. Okay. So now directly we go for the sample space. Okay, that means your 52C4, right? So now find the probability that we have 4 set of events again. Okay, so before proceeding to the card problems, I will tell you the suits we have. Okay, so generally we do have 4 different suits, which are but both 2 are black, okay, and 2 are red. I will write. Okay, so black are your club and spade, okay, and your, so 13 each, and your red suit are your, what I'll say, your heart and diamond. Okay, so now in heart you have also 13 and here also 13, and it collectively give you your 52 cards. Okay, 52 cards. So for now find the probability that, so I'll just assign 4 events as E1, E2, E3 and E4. So here for the first event, the probability of E1 is what I'm supposed to find here. They are a king, a queen, a jack and an ace. Okay, so the denominations are your 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 is your jack, queen is 12, then your king and an ace we have. Okay, so probability of getting a king, a queen, a jack and an ace. So each suit has a king, that's why I'll go for your 4C1. Okay, then your again 4C1, a king, a queen, and your 4C1 for jack and an ace is your 4C1 divided by your what, 52C4, right? Okay, so now I think you can solve the second one also. 2 are kings and 2 are queens. Okay, so 2 are kings means you have 4 kings in a deck. Okay, so that's why the second probability of the second event will be 4C2 multiplied by your 4C2 for 2 queens, okay, divided by your 52C4, right? So now we'll go for the third event. So in the third event, what happened? 2 are black and 2 are red. Okay, so that means your probability of getting 2 black, that means these are your 26. Collectively the black cards here 26, so that's why this will be 26C2, and again 2 are red, that means 26C2 divided by your 52C4, right? So now for the fourth one you can solve directly. I think 2 are of hearts and 2 are of diamonds, that means your 13 and 13 are there, 13 hearts and 13 diamonds, so 13C2 and 13C2 divided by 52C4, right? So this kind of problem you will get acquainted with the probability while you look at the problems. Okay, so the third example we have here, 2 unbiased dice are thrown. Okay, thrown definitely once, I forgot to write here. Okay, once. Okay, find the probability that, so you have certain the events, let us say here I am assigning E1, E2, E3. Okay, E4 and E5, right? So for the solution, what you will do, 2 unbiased dice are thrown, that means the sample space will contain 36 outcomes. Okay, 2 unbiased, so this is for your first die 1 to 6, this will be the outcomes, and for the second die you will have again the same set of outcomes. Okay, so this is what, this is corresponding to your first die and this is related to your second die. Fine. So the order pair will contain your 36 will provide you 36 outcomes for the sample space. Okay, that means your 1 1, 1 2, 1 3, 1 4, 1 5, 1 6, and accordingly it will go to 6 1, 6 2, 6 3 up to 6 6. Okay, those are the order pairs you can find for the sample space, right? So 36 outcomes for the sample space. Now let us go for the solutions, okay, or for the events. So if I'll say both the dice show the same number, okay, so if both the dice show the same number, that means it will be corresponding to your 1 1, okay, 1 1, okay, then your 2 2, 3 3, 4 4, and I am not writing all those, and 6 6. Okay, 5 5 and 6 6. That means these are the six favorable case for the event 1. That means this is your 6 out of 36, which is your 1 out of 6, right? Now let's go for the second event we have. So for the second event, it says that the first die shows 6. That means this will be corresponding to your 6 1 6 2 6 3 6 4 6 5 6 6. That means 6 will be pairing with your all the 6 outcomes of the second die. Okay, so this is again your 6 out of 36, 1 by 6. Okay, then for the third one, the probability of the sum of the outcomes on the dice is 8. Okay, that means for where it will start, it cannot start with 1. Okay, because it will correspond to your 7 on the second die, which is impossible. So it will start with your 2 6 3 5 4 4 5 3 6 2. So accordingly you can write for your convenience, but I am not writing all this. So this will be your 5 out of 36. Okay, so now let's go for the fourth one. The probability of getting the total of the numbers on the dice is greater than 8. Okay, so greater than 8 is your will correspond to your 4 outcomes, the 4 sums, probably your 9 10 11 and 12. Okay, the maximum sum will be 6 6. Okay, so it says that, let me just say, probability of sum equals to 9. Okay, plus probability of getting sum as 10, then probability of getting the sum as 11. So these are the 4 mutually exclusive cases we have. I'll tell you what are the mutually exclusive events. Okay, so there will be no common outcomes between two events. Okay, sum is 9, that means it will correspond to your 4 out of 36 probably. Okay, then your sum is 10, you can say sum is 9, that means it will be corresponding to your 3 6 4 5 5 4 and 6 3, 4 out of 36, then your 3 out of 36, then your 2 out of 36 and 1 out of 36. This is a frame we know I'll discuss about while discussing the random variables or the discrete random variables. Okay, so this will be what, 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 4 is what, 10 probably. Okay, 10 out of 36, right? So the fifth one is the sum of the outcomes on the dice is 13. It's impossible. Okay, so that's why the probability will be 0, because this is an impossible event. It cannot exceed 6 6, right? So let's go for the third example here, third or fourth example. Okay, so here, in a random arrangement of the letters of the word aptitude, find the probability that all the vowels come together. Okay, so for the solution, what I will do here, we have to arrange the letters of the word aptitude. Okay, so as a layman, I will say that total number of, but not the total number of cases, let us say here the sample space, the number of the collection of words from the letters of the word aptitude. Okay, so the collection of word will be how many digits we have, how many letters we have, 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8. Okay, this will be your 8 factorial until you check the identical letters. Okay, so the identical letters are here A, P. Okay, then your 1 and 2, these are the identical letters T. Okay, so T is repeated twice in this word, so that's why you have to divide it with your 2 factorial, because if you will just interchange these 2 letters, the word will remain same. That's why you have to divide it with the 2 factorial. Okay, so this is the sample size we have. Now we have to find the probability that all the vowels come together. So what you will do, let the vowels are your A, I, U and E. That means let us say your A, E, I and U be one letter. First we have to designate it as one letter. Okay, and so now you have how many letters left in this word? If 4 are going out, that means you will have 4 letters. Okay, so including this letter, I will have 5 letters. So now the number of favorable cases we have, or number of favorable arrangements, I will say, will be your 5 factorial. Okay, then these letters A, E, I, U, they can also be interchanged their position. Okay, so this will be your interchange, means they will rearrange to find another word. Okay, so that's why I'll multiply it here 4 factorial, but again we have to divide it with here 2 factorial because we have two identical t's. Okay, so this is the total number of favorable arrangements, the number of favorable arrangements. Okay, so if I'll treat the event as your, this is the event as E. Okay, so the probability of E will be what, 5 factorial multiplied by your 4 factorial divided by 2 factorial and divided by 8 factorial and 2 factorial. Okay, 8 factorial. Okay, so what I am supposed to get here, 5 factorial 4 factorial divided by your 8 factorial. Okay, so you solve it and let me know what is the solution. Okay, so here for the fifth example we are assuming here. Okay, we are taking 10 persons have to occupy 10 chairs at a round table. Okay, so this is a circular permutation. So for your hint I will write that if n persons are supposed to sit or supposed to occupy n chairs around a table, so this can be done. Okay, then I'll say here it can be done in n minus 1 factorial ways, right? So n minus 1 factorial ways, right? So here for the solution what I'll do, the total number of exhaustive outcomes or total number of arrangements we have is your 10 persons are occupying 10 chairs, so this will be done in 9 factorial ways. Okay, so now what is the probability that two specific persons are sitting next to each other? Okay, so here again what I'll do, let P1 and P2 are two persons we have, the two persons sitting next to each other. Now you treat them as one person. Okay, just assume this. Okay, so now the number of favorable ways or the number of favorable arrangements we have will be what, because they are taken as one person, so you will be left with only 9 persons. Okay, so that means it can be done in 8 factorial ways, but see, these two persons can also interchange their position, so this can also be done in 2 factorial, it will be multiplied with your 2 factorial. Okay, so this is the number of favorable arrangements we have. So probability of the given event, say this is, again I am taking it as the event as E. Okay, so probability of this event will be 8 factorial and 2 factorial divided by your 9 factorial. Okay, so which is your 2 out of 9, right? So now let us see a few problems related to gate. Okay, so this came in 2016 for the mechanical. 3 cards were drawn from a pack of 52 cards. The probability that they are a king, a queen, a jack is what? Okay, so we know that if 3 cards are drawn, that means the sample size is your 52C3, right? So the probability that, if I will take it as the event E, the probability of this event will be what, 4C1. Okay, a queen is your 4C1, a jack is again your 4C1 divided by your 52C3, right? You can solve it, I think. Okay, let's check the solution here. 4 is your 64 divided by 52C3 is your 16 out of 5525. Okay, so this is the correct option. And the last example we have is your 2 coins are tossed simultaneously, as I have done while discussing the very first slide. Okay, so 2 coins are tossed simultaneously the probability up to 2 decimal points accuracy, here it is taken, of getting at least one head is what? Okay, so this came in 2017 for mechanical. This is a NAT type question or numerical answer type. Okay, so we know this, the probability of getting at least one head is one head is your 3 out of 4, and as it is asked you to find up to 2 decimal points accuracy, so this equals to your 0.75. okay, so fortunately you have I have given you the example while discussing the very first lecture, first slide. Okay, so thank you all for your patience, and in next class we are heading to the algebra of events, and wish you all the luck. You try to solve as many problems related to your probability, and ask me any kind of question you have. Thanks.